because of stream issues, which we're 100% going to blame Twitch for. I'm nothing to do with old Kev. No. I know what I'm doing. Honest. But we only got to play 2 games on Twitch the other night, so we haven't actually moved on that far since the last time we did an episode here on YouTube. But of course, we still have to do our episode on YouTube, so we're just going to pick up where we left off on stream when it all went wrong. And if you want to carry on the story after this, make sure you check out tonight's stream, 9 PM, twitch.tv/Lollujo FM. The more the merrier. Hello and welcome to part 3 of the Sugar Daddy. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Rochdale and then away against Rotherham, both in League One. Since you were last with me, there's been a tiny little bit of transfer business. We've signed a third Kevin Chapman for the club. We've already got Kevin Chapman, the manager, Kevin Chapman, the chairman. Also looks a lot like me. We've now also got Kevin Chapman, the non-league striker who's never going to be good enough to play for us. But at least we have a third Kevin Chapman now. And to compensate for that, we've let one of our established players leave the club. So Gaboli Ariyibi, no idea. He's left the club, gone to Plymouth because they offered us money for him, and he can play in the same position as Kevin Chapman. So we'd obviously, if given the choice, would always rather have a Kevin Chapman in a position than anybody else. League form has been going well, and we've won our first 2 games, 8 goals scored, just the 1 goal conceded, and we just about managed to scrape our way past Mansfield in the EFL Cup first round. Geordie Schreers, or as it has, I mean, shall we just, so many people have said, we're going to have to do it, aren't we? Geordie Shaw. Geordie Shaw has got 2 goals in each of those first 3 games. So if he continues that kind of form, we'll be quite pleased with that. We did score all 5 goals against Charlton in the first half, so I think we start games rather well, apart from games against Mansfield. But to be fair, Geordie Shaw came on with 10 minutes to go in that game and scored the 2 goals to put us through. So, our team for today's game is this one. In goal, we've got Bettinelli, a back 4 of Clark, Calvo, Vasberg and Coyle. Midfielder Da Silva, Lopez, Deacon, Gonzalez, and then we've got Logan in behind Geordie Shaw and Salvador. Let's get into the game. Are we going to get into the game? I'm trying fluid team instruction today. I don't think I've ever done fluid before. Certainly not this year. I think we did it with Man City last year at one point. But I think... Hold on, what's this? Yeah, club, happy, whatever that was. Oh, I just forgot to do teams. I need to set it up so it automatically does the opposition instructions for me. I probably could have gone back and done them again, but we're doing no opposition instructions. It's because my assistant managers keep leaving. But the reason for the fluid is because we're so much better than everyone else in this division. Why not show off a little bit and play some pretty football? That's the theory. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to being flexible, which is the other one, the one below it, I think. But bearing in mind I've only been manager of this club since June, I'm now my 3rd assistant manager in that time, and I didn't sack any of them. They just keep getting poached by other clubs. I'll introduce you to the new assistant manager in a moment. Although we're now 1-0 down after 7 minutes. That's not part of the plan. I need to make myself feel better with a delightful Coke Zero, which I haven't plugged Coke Zero for ages. They still don't give me any money for all these Coke Zero adverts. One of these days I'm just going to send them an invoice for it. Ooh, that's refreshing. We shouldn't be losing matches. Who are we playing? We're playing Rochdale. Where are they in the league? Rochdale are... I mean, we're only 3 games in, but they're just outside the playoffs. If they score again here, then we can assume fluid doesn't work. But we're getting a decent possession. Bettinelli collects well. I mean, we've got our backup goalkeeper in goal, so that's probably part of it. I am wondering a little bit if I have picked the team for today. Allow me to elaborate. Normally, I pick a team, then save the game, so the next time I open it up, I can just go straight into recording a video. But I'm looking at the fact that Will Clark is still in this team, and he's a youth team player who we brought in for the last game just because we had nobody else available. And I think I've still got last match's team in. And forgot to... Oh, and now we've had Matt Deakin sent off. Matt, come on. Letting us down. This has all gone a bit wrong. We'll drop Logan back into the midfield, I guess. And just adjust the midfield around. I think this is going to be chalked up as one of those games where Kev makes it hard for himself, because we've not picked I say we've not picked a very good team. The only tweaks I'd make, I'd change the midfield 3 around a little bit, maybe, and we'd play a proper left back. But other than that, we're still a very strong squad. This group of players should be good enough to beat any other team in this division, even with 10 men. But it doesn't seem to be working out that way. I am going to take it off of this fluid thing. I don't think fluid works. Fluid, you've upset me. We're going to go back to flexible. And we're going to use flexible to go and win this football match. The youngster Clark is beaten to the ball again. It bounces back off the crossbar. And we are struggling a little bit to these crosses being whipped in from that side. Have we got any options to move stuff around or check? Mendes can play there. And I think for the second half, he will play there. Because I'm a little bit worried that we're playing a kid in the league down that side, and that's just asking for trouble. Right, let's go and grab a couple of goals in the second half. Okay, there's one of them. That's part of the job complete. Genius by Salvador, apparently. I can get on board with a little bit of genius. Hugo Logan tucks it in at the second time of asking to Salvador. He just spins, and then first time, top corner-ish. That will do nicely, and a couple more of them, and then we can pretty much be sure that no matter what we do this season, we're going up as champions. Because if we manage to turn this nonsense around into a win, we will officially be unbeatable. Logan with the free kick, and Rasberg tucks in the... I don't know, did that come back off the post or the goalkeeper, or what happened there? It was just about as close to being a penalty as you can possibly get. Logan, it hits the wall and then just falls to Rasberg, who tucks it away very nicely. And we can see the burger vans behind the goal again. You got to love a deep in Rangers burger van. What do we do now tactically? We've come back from behind when we're down to 10 men. What we don't want to do is give Rochdale the chance to make it back into this game. But I really, you know how I feel about defending at the best of times. I really, really don't want to have to defend when we've only got 10 men. We've got less players than the opposition. The fact that Ross Turns wasn't on the pitch from the start confirms my theory that I didn't pick this team. And because I'm still not that familiar with the players, I didn't notice. But this is my team from the midweek game. Oh, what am I doing? Gonzalez, you can come off and we'll bring on... We haven't got any more midfielders. We'll take off Geordie Shaw and bring on Canedo and try a different striker up there. Geordie Shaw not having the best of games today. Perhaps he doesn't like his new name. But what are you going to do? I couldn't say his old name. It sounded a bit like this one. Everyone wins, apart from Geordie himself. But he'll go down in history now as Geordie Shaw. So he does win a little bit. Salvador forcing a save out of their keeper. And with 10 minutes to go, hopefully we can grab another goal and I can chill out a little bit, because I am a little bit worried that we're going to throw this away right at the death because we don't have enough players on the pitch. We're bombarding them with corners here. It's corner after corner. I am very happy about this situation, although that's been cleared, hasn't it? Only 9,000 people have turned up today, which is far, far less than that first game of the season. We had about 16,000 people. So perhaps that was just, oh, look, Kev's here. Let's have loads of people in the ground. But is this a more realistic attendance for us? Because this is really low. That makes me sad. I was all excited when I thought we had 16,000 fans, but apparently not. Right, let's go and play Rotherham, and this time I'll actually pick the team. tweaks have been made. We now have a proper team. Vickers comes back in goal. Scally, Lenihan and Every all come into the back four. Abrams and Turns come into midfield. And I think attacking-wise, we were fine in the last game. Plenty of goals in that front three. So let's get into the game with a proper defence this time. Fingers crossed we don't concede any red card situations. I don't know who's Denon Lewis. Is he one of our players? I feel like I should know who he is. He's not played a single game for me, so who cares that he's not available? Yes, momentum. Momentum is good. Apply that. Kev, mental note. Or physical note, if you've got a pen and paper to hand. Let's actually do that so it's automatic. Otherwise, we're just going to cause problems later on down the line. Where's Rotherham? That's who we're playing. Everything feels like it's not set up right. Everything's too far over here. I feel like I'm sat really far along the screen. No doubt future Kev will have fixed that in editing and I'll look as handsome as ever, but it all feels a little bit odd the way I'm sitting. I feel like I'm turning too far, but we're 1-0 up, and that's the important thing. And I like these fancy replays from all the different angles. I might turn this on the Expedition of Gold save as well. That behind the goal thing was a fun novelty when it first arrived, and it does look cool, but after hundreds and hundreds of hours of watching just behind the goal highlights, it's quite nice to see a little bit of variety. Geordie Shaw. To Turns. Turns can't quite get hold of the ball. That was like watching playground football. 4 or 5 of our players all just sort of ball chasing, and then we lose it, and Rotherham come and attack us. We need to be a little bit smarter about how we're attacking and how we're working together as a team here, and that will come with time, hopefully. Especially, have I left fluid on? I thought I've taken us from control to standard, but I've left this pesky fluid on. I thought that was the one I'd changed. I've changed the wrong one, but this time it's working. What on earth do I do in this situation? I thought, and what I was trying to do, was put it under control and flexible, and in actual fact I've moved it to standard fluid, which isn't a combination I think I would ever pick myself. However, Rotherham are one of the better teams in this division, and we're beating them 2-0 away. So he says they're one of the best teams. They're actually having a terrible season. So perhaps it's nothing to do with perhaps we're beating them despite my tactical choices. But we'll stick it out. We'll see what happens. This is how you learn. We learn by experimentation and mistakes. And if you can experiment and make some mistakes while still winning, all the better. De Silva Lopez, what's he going to do? Finds Logan, who loses out on the ball, and Rotherham attack us again. And this time they do tuck the ball into the back of the net. It's 2-1. And if we concede another one, then we'll do a too little, too late, turning it to what I intended it to be before the match started situation. I don't even know how that happened. Guess apparently I can't aim at the screen properly. Is Rotherham's ground really called the New York Stadium? That feels like a name that's got the potential for confusion about where it might be. So it's in Rotherham, so it's not even in York. So they can't just say, it's the York Stadium, it's the new one. That's why we call it the New York Stadium. So it's in Rotherham, which is in Yorkshire, I think. So that part of it makes sense. Don't know why it's called the New York Stadium, though. Let me know down in the comments, why is Rotherham's ground called the New York Stadium? Or is it maybe not? I don't know. That could be a made-up stadium because we're so far in the future. Who knows? Right, let's grab another goal. Scally crosses. Turns is there, but it goes straight at the Rotherham keeper. We've not created very many chances at all today. For a Kev team, so we're hitting the hour mark, having only had 5 shots, is pitiful, quite frankly. We have created 2 clear-cut chances, but I never want to be a team that is efficient with its chances that it creates. It doesn't create many, but the ones it does create are good ones. That doesn't sound good. I want to just create loads of chances and just bombard the opposition goals. Right, Baitiki is coming on now. Sinan Baitiki, who's been at Beeping a long, long time, since the Conference North days. He's signed from Man City. That shows the the ridiculous way that this experiment has gone. But we'll bring him on. He's really he wants to be a winger, but we're not going to be playing with wingers anytime soon, so he can make do with playing in midfield the way he is right now. And we'll make that same substitution we made last game again. Canado comes on for Geordie Shaw, and hopefully we hold on and pick up a second win of the episode on what would be a fourth win of the season. And Leo da Silva Lopez has decided he agrees. He'd like that too. And while he's celebrating, I need to change my camera battery. Ooh, seamless. Camera situation resolved. And he still hasn't tucked away this replay yet. There you go. It looks just as good as it did the first time in 2D. And that should be that. We're going to end the episode with 4 wins from 4 at the start of this League One season. And my question for today is going to be, is this squad of players that we've assembled over the course of this summer, A, as good as it looks, or are we just having that new manager, new player, exciting bounce? But let's assume it is as good as it looks. So B, is it good enough to romp straight through the Championship next season as well, without having to spend another £8 or £10 million next season? I hope, and built this squad with a view to this being the group of players that can get through to the Premier League. Let me know down in the comments if you think we're pretty much there. If you've enjoyed that, please pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.